Today on the Comic Book Report, we're going to be doing an unboxing overview for the newly released 2025 printing of Nightwing, the Prince of Gotham Omnibus from DC Comics. Stick around and check it out. Greetings from Gotham, everyone. My name is Dominic, and today you're tuning in to the Comic Book Report, where we review comic books and graphic novels so you can get an idea of what to read. And as I mentioned at the top, we're going to be doing an unboxing video, courtesy of our friends at Organic Price Books. We're going to be taking a look at the newly released Nightwing Prince of Gotham Omnibus from DC Comics. This is the kickoff of the New 52 Nightwing run from Kyle Higgins, if you're unaware. And this was a huge get for me. This was my first Nightwing comic, and believe it or not, I haven't read the last arc or two in this run. I've been wanting this omnibus for some time, and when I heard DC was reprinting it, I was elated. If you want to pick up your own copy though, I highly suggest you check out the sponsor organicpricebooks.com. You can find a link to their website in my video description, and if you see anything on the site you like, you can use my discount code at checkout, The Comic Book Report, to save $2 off of your order. Please note if you use my affiliate link or code to make a purchase, I will earn a small commission, but it's a fantastic way to support the channel. Thank you for considering. Now let's keep this unboxing going. Okay, so as you can see, yes, this box did come in from organicpricebooks.com, and I'm happy to say that once I finish out reading this run proper, I will be doing a review on my channel and an overview over at Organic Price Books YouTube channel. So if you're interested in either of those videos, definitely stay tuned to our channels. But yes, I cannot wait. I know that if you've been watching this channel for a while, I've been talking about all the Nightwing-based releases we're getting this year. We're getting the second Chuck Dixon era compendium, which is a paperback collection. The Rebirth era omnibus from Tim Seeley just came out not too long ago, and later this summer we are supposed to get the first Tom Taylor Bruno Redondo omnibus. A lot of much anticipated collections. Nightwing fans are eating good. But believe it or not, of all of these collections, this is the crowning achievement for me that I could not wait to finally pick up. Again, partially due to the fact that this was my first Nightwing comic, and I never finished out the last part of the run. I loved what I've read thus far, even if I miss his black and blue costume. The black and red does grow on me here and there, and I am just a huge unapologetic fan of the New 52. So yes, this is my most exciting Nightwing release this year, though I am really ecstatic about the rest. Now, as I finish up stretching out this omnibus, let me tell you a little bit about this book. As far as what this omnibus collects, it includes Nightwing, issues 0 through 30, along with the Nightwing Annual Issue 1 and Batman 17. We also have a lot of fun sketchbook sections and stories from Secret Origin number 1 and Young Romance, a New 52 Valentine's Day Special Issue 1. The book is an oversized format with a light glossy print paper stock, what looks like a sewn binding with a nice helping of glue, and a total of 824 pages. We have a lot of fantastic creators attached to this as well, like Kyle Higgins, Eddy Barrows, Will Conrad, Andres Golando, Brett Booth, and more. After we finish showing off that cover design again, let's take a look at this spine. I am absolutely in love with the spine direction here. We have a little face shot of Nightwing, the title of not only the character, but the omnibus, Prince of Gotham, and then that new DC logo, the kind of bullet format. I think that this is an absolutely gorgeous book, and I'm so happy to finally have it in the collection. On the back of the dust jacket today, we have an awesome action shot of Nightwing again. We have a blurb about the collection, some of the accolades or reviews, pricing informations, what it collects, creators, things like that. All pretty standard fare for a dust jacket back, I think, but I think it's really nicely arrayed. Love the graphic design here. I just think everything looks really sleek, and I'm extremely happy with the book design. Okay, and now I wanted to take one more minute to examine this dust jacket yet again. This time we'll be looking at the interior flaps, and I will take it off so we can see everything at a glance. I really like what they did with this dust jacket design because we actually have the back flap doing a kind of partial wraparound with the back cover of the dust jacket, and then on the front flap we have kind of a side profile face, front profile but half a face of Nightwing, along with of course that front cover. But yeah, really great graphic design here. Transitioning to the hardback book itself, we have an epic fight sequence between Nightwing and a Talon from the Court of Owls. Really a dynamic image here. The spine design I really like as well. We have the title of the series along with the kind of subtitle of the book, The Prince of Gotham Omnibus, that DC Bullet logo again. And on the back, we do have an image of Nightwing, but we do have this kind of wraparound cover in a way. I think the design choice here for the book is pretty seamless, and I'm really ecstatic to see it. And now that we've gone over the exteriors, I did want to spend a moment for all of you prospective collectors out there to examine this book's binding. So as I mentioned, I believe this is a sewn binding that still has a nice heaping helping of glue, if I'm looking at it correctly. I am still kind of trying to loosen up the book a bit more. I'm hoping it lays a bit more flat as I read through it, but this binding looks really sturdy. I don't anticipate these pages going anywhere. It lays down still fairly well, even for a just opened book, and I think the gutter loss, while there, is fairly minimal. And just for a fun perspective shot, what you've been looking at here is this Nightwing Omnibus along with the Grayson Omnibus, followed by the recently released Nightwing Rebirth Era Omnibus. These are all the Nightwing-based omnibuses I currently have in my collection. I did review the Grayson Super Spy Omnibus, and I recently did an unboxing overview for that Nightwing Rebirth Era Omnibus if you're interested. But now as we make our way into this collection, I am happy to say the end pages are a beautiful Nightwing logo for the New 52 era, the black and red. I thought that was a really sleek choice. After that, of course, we do have a title page. We have a great kind of creator breakdown page, a publication information page, and then I'm happy to say a full numbered table of contents breaking down the entire kind of issue breakdown publication for each issue, which I'd love to see, particularly for modern omnibuses. After that, we jump right into issue 1 of this Nightwing New 52 era series, and we are off to the races. Now, for this video, I did not provide a spoiler warning, but I will say now you will visually see some spoilers as I'm flipping through. I'll try not to speak to them that much so that people that want to jump into this book can still get kind of a fresh perspective there. I will also touch very lightly on some plot points, but I'll try to go general. Again, I haven't even finished this entire run myself, but I'll try to get you a good idea for the rest of this video, what you can expect visually and a little bit about the storytelling, and so hopefully you can make the choice that makes sense for you, whether you'd like to pick up this run in this newly released omnibus format, or maybe you want to go track down the trade paperbacks. I know before I got this omnibus, I had 3 of the 5 paperbacks that comprised this run. Was very happy with them for a number of years, but again, with this coming out, I knew I had to finally upgrade. So what is the New 52 era Nightwing? Maybe you're newer to DC Comics, or you don't even know what New 52 is, and that is not a problem at all. The New 52 is an era of DC Comics where they basically did a soft reboot. What does that mean? It sometimes had new origins for characters, or they played with the continuity where they kept some stories, left out others. They de-aged a good handful of the characters, and they made it all to kind of cater to a newer, fresh audience. They completely canceled all of their old books as well and began with fresh issues 1s, and all of this happened in the wake of DC's Flashpoint event, which did primarily follow The Flash. Basically, the events of that book reset the timeline or continuity for the mainstream DC universe, so for a while we did have this kind of side universe that was the main universe, but again, things were kind of tweaked, and that's where we have this Nightwing run taking place. But a lot of the same elements are still there. We have Dick Grayson's parents, the Flying Graysons, murdered tragically. He was taken in by Bruce Wayne. He grew up as Robin and eventually took on the mantle of Nightwing all his own. And here we go. So a lot of the main threads are still there. But again, it's a new issue 1, and it's so very accessible to a whole new branch of readers or returning fans alike. As I mentioned, this was my first Nightwing book. I think before this, I had only really known about Nightwing from like the Teen Titans cartoon I watched growing up, and just things like that. I've read some of his early stuff in Teen Titans as well, the Marv Wolfman, George Perez era, but this was really my proper solo Nightwing book, so I'm always going to be a fan of it. Story-wise as well, I was really pleased with this book. We got a lot of stuff going into his origin with the the Haley Circus, for example, which I really appreciated. I love that part of Dick Grayson's backstory, so the fact that we get more of that is always great. Also, for fans of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Batman run, also from this New 52 period, Nightwing does cross over in a number of ways, particularly with that kind of Court of Owls mythos. Dick Grayson becomes fairly involved with that storyline in some ways, and we see some ramifications for him personally as a character. So if you like what Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did with Court of Owls, this might be a really fun companion volume for you. There are, of course, other stories in this book as well. I know it crosses over with Death of the Family as well, which was another really big New 52 era Batman story. Do I think that those are necessary to read to enjoy this Nightwing volume? Probably not. You could probably still enjoy this relatively self-contained, but if you have read some of Scott Snyder's early Batman run, that it just fills out the experience a bit more. It'll certainly help. Something I do want to say as well, I love the art direction we get for this omnibus. I know Eddy Barrows does a lot of the early art. I just think it's really jaw-dropping. One of my favorite aspects of his art style, as you've been seeing as I flip through, is not only the beautiful character models, but also the experimentation in panel layout. We have a lot of breakaways, splash pages, and just kind of unconventional layouts that really make use of kind of the kineticism that I associate often with Nightwing. You know, he's acrobatic. He is, all of these things, and you get that playfulness in the paneling in many ways, I feel like, in this New 52 run, and I don't always see that in Nightwing runs, some more than others, but I think that that is something exceptional here in this book, and I definitely wanted to just underscore it for all of you. And hey, while I have your attention, if you're enjoying this unboxing video and you also like things like comic book reviews, top 10 lists, shorts, interviews, and more, and you've yet to subscribe to the channel, I would just like to invite you to do so. Thank you so much for considering. Now let's keep this unboxing right on going. Another thing I want to mention about this omnibus, at 824 pages, this is definitely a decent-sized omnibus without feeling too overbearing. It's a very comfortable read, and I'm really appreciative of that. I'm a fan of gigantic omnibus editions, but every so often one comes along that it contains a whole run and is still not, frankly, backbreaking to haul around, and I appreciate that as well. Anyway, this was a real dream get for me. I'm really appreciative for those at Organic Price Books for sending over this copy. I'm hoping to have that overview out, before too long. But again, just elated to have it in the collection finally. I'm so happy to revisit some of these stories. I know I reviewed, I think, the first trade paperback volume of this run on the channel as well, if you're interested in seeing a little bit more. But yeah, I can't wait to finally finish it out. After reading the Grayson Super Spy Omnibus and now delving into some of the Rebirth era, Nightwing has really just been on my mind. He's always been one of my favorite DC Comics characters, but this year I just feel like I'm getting a whole new appreciation for this incredible hero. At the back of the collection today, we do have a handful of extras, which I was delighted to see. We have a pretty extensive variant cover art gallery, which again, I always love. And then after that, we are treated to a lot of artistic-based extras. We have a lot of kind of original art prints here, kind of the pencil work or inks, and kind of behind-the-scenes look at some of the art. I would have loved to see maybe an essay or two. That would have been a fun inclusion, but I am still very thankful for the extras we get. Like I said, it's a pretty healthy amount. So overall, as a collector, I was just really happy to see that. And really, that is your look at the Nightwing Prince of Gotham Omnibus, the 2025 reprint from DC Comics. Let me know what you think of this run, or if you plan to pick up this omnibus, or perhaps you already have it in your collection, or you're planning to get other Nightwing books. Let me know all of that in the comments, and thank you for watching. Until next time, this has been the Comic Book Report. Please don't forget to leave your like, that comment we talked about, and maybe share this video with a friend. Thanks, bye.